Hello, a very good evening. Welcome to Prime News, where we bring you the latest happenings here in Sri Lanka, around the world and in the sporting arena. I'm Iftiar Abdul Qadir, and first the headlines. The Prime Minister underlines that the government headed by the President is geared to make Sri Lanka the miracle of Asia, surmounting all challenges. A new education policy to suit the present needs is being planned. Prabha Ganeshan emphasizes that the UNP will hereafter not receive the support of the Tamil polity. BOI offers new investment incentives for the North and East. And overseas, UN approves $2.1 million to help Somalia and neighboring countries prosecute suspected pirates. We start off with a look at your local news. Prime Minister D.N. Jayaratne has emphasized that the government headed by the President is geared to make Sri Lanka the miracle of Asia. In an exclusive interview with ITN, the Prime Minister opined that the government will not hesitate to rout all alien forces which obstructs the forward march of the country. The Prime Minister said China was extending support to develop the country. Iran had also held discussions to help large-scale development. Korea has also embarked on such a program. The Prime Minister pointed out that many other countries were also talking with Sri Lanka to make investments. If everybody is dedicated to giving up differences and work for the development of the country, it will be possible to accelerate the development process. This is the vision of the President. Every civilian should extend support to this effort. If so, accelerating development of the country will not be an uphill task. Sri Lanka's government expects more capital inflow as the country's diaspora returns to invest after the end of a 30-year civil war. Central Bank Governor Ajit Nivard Cabral was confident that investments would come up with political stability. In an interview with Reuters, he said there will be investment that will come with tourism and infrastructure, but also there will be reinvestment by Sri Lankan themselves. That could be an important area for growth because the investment coming back could be the anchor for growth for next year and beyond. The country's economic expansion is likely to be more than the government's 6.5% forecast this year, owing to rapid growth in infrastructure development and tourism. Mr. Cabral said estimates are likely to be revised to closer to 7% or even beyond. Sri Lanka has been a high inflation country for a long time, but he emphasized that they had been able to bring inflation down to very reasonable numbers within the last year and are conscious that they have to maintain it. This, he pointed out, gives a signal that they mean business as far as inflation is concerned, and they see the market reacting to that. In the Reuters interview, he further said that as Sri Lanka grows, there are many corporates that are possible contenders for global capital. He added that it would be a good opportunity for foreign investors to invest in Sri Lanka. Minister Bandulu Gunawardena has said that he is looking forward to sort out many issues related to the educational sector. The minister was speaking after participating in religious observances at the Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy this morning. He called on the Malvatta Mahanayaka, the most venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera, and secured his blessings. He also paid a courtesy call on the Asgiri Mahanayaka, the most venerable Udugama Sri Buddha Rakkhita Thera, at the Asgiriya Mahavihara. Expressing views to the media thereafter, Minister Gunawardena referred to his future plans. He said he intends to bring in a new national educational policy to suit the present era. It will be done with the consensus of all members of a parliamentary committee that is planned to be appointed as soon as possible. The Colombo Stock Exchange has continued to show steady growth. Reuters say that this growth was evident throughout last week. This has happened due to the stability of the government and the positive sentiments of the investors. Yesterday, the all-share price index has recorded the highest number, 4,138.84 units in its history. According to Reuters, the meeting of Parliament with the indication of stability and hopes of businessmen on earnings on investments has led to this record growth of performance at the Colombo Stock Exchange. The UNP, which has flouted agreements, will have no support from the Tamil community. This has been emphasized by parliamentarian Prabha Ganeshan. Making a clarification on the stand of the Democratic People's Front, Mr. Ganeshan said they have now ditched the United National Front. They had an agreement with the UNF that their party would be given a slot in the national list. But after the elections, it reneged on its pledge. It had said that a slot for their party could not be given from the national list. As such, Mr. Ganeshan pointed out that they had left the United National Front. He said he wished to further point out that the Tamil community will not extend support to them not only in Colombo but also from the entire country. You're watching the news on Prime TV and still here at home. Basil Rajapaksa, the new Economic Development Minister, has said that a massive strength will be given to the economy via the Central Fish Market Complex, which is coming up at Paliagoda. Basil Rajapaksa had given an assurance that the Gampaha district will be converted into the main centre in development. Mr. Rajapaksa undertook an inspection tour of the massive development projects which are already in progress in the district. The fish market, which is under construction, is an alternative to the St. John's Fish Market in Colombo. A major part of the work on this project at Paliagoda has already been completed. It will be soon vested in the public. The total expenditure is in the region of 1.5 billion rupees. Basil Rajapaksa said that the Paliagoda Fish Market Complex is the brainchild of the President. The idea was mooted when he was serving as Fisheries Minister. He pointed out that their desire was to make a vital contribution to the economy with the support of the fisher community and the traders. An ice plant with a capacity of 50 tons is also under construction. There will be 138 wholesale trade stalls in addition to several retail outlets. The fish market could handle about 500 metric tons per day. There will also be a car park which can accommodate 500 vehicles at a time. A canteen, banking and communication facilities will also be available. Basil Rajapaksa discussed with the officers in charge of the construction the future activities. The group which accompanied Minister Rajapaksa included Minister Felix Pereira. The Board of Investment is offering new investment incentives for the northern and eastern provinces. Special tax and other benefits will be valid for much longer periods of 10, 15 or 20 years depending on the sector than those offered in other areas of the country. The incentives apply for projects in the agriculture and agro-industry sectors, fisheries, training, manufacturing and other identified areas. It is part of an aggressive drive to lure investors to war-affected parts of the country. BOI also recently established a branch office in Jaffna in its endeavor to promote the city as a new destination for investment and revive it to its old glory days, during which it was a center of economic activity. A BOI spokesperson said foreign investors from the hotel, IT and agro-processing sectors are showing considerable interest in the northern and eastern provinces. A new project to process milk for the local market is being set up in Chenkaladi in the Batticaloa district. The venture